Hello and welcome back to the I'm Hungry podcast for another consecutive week, I think, right? Is it?
Yeah.
Let's keep it going. That's exciting that we're actually
That's like five.
we're actually
Six,
doing
maybe.
stuff now. I got this light thing. I haven't set it up yet, but I got this little light box.
Oh.
So I should have even better lighting. I don't know. I adjusted my monitor. I also bought a new monitor. I bought a lot of things recently that I probably shouldn't have just bought, but you know, I
need to
thought
do
I had
that too.
I had a job.
Yeah, what
I
happened?
literally, I don't know. I was being disrespectful. I got fired from my job.
What do you mean being disrespectful?
I don't know. They told me I was being disrespectful. I mouthed off at another coworker, and told I was like, cause they were cause the thing is this coworker, she was I thought she was messing with me, right? And cause she was low key, she would be like, haha, you're racist, haha haha or something like that. She would make jokes or something like that, cause she was Mexican. I don't know. And I was kind of getting mad at her. I forget what I was saying, but she was poking fun at me, haha, white guy, you're racist, haha.
Yeah.
And I was just not really having it, and I was she told me I can't do something, and I was like, well, why does it matter? You're not even a manager, you can't even tell me what to do. And I guess she went and reported me for that shit, because came back that I got fired. Yeah, I guess that's not the only thing I did. Apparently I did some other thing, but yeah, they said that mainly I was just disrespectful, and that I was only there 2 weeks, and that I was already too comfortable. That's what they said. They were I got too comfortable too quickly, and it's okay, sorry I felt comfortable with your team. Sorry I felt comfortable in my workplace. But I don't know. I don't think I was being disrespectful. I think I was being disrespected, and then I retaliated in a not that big of a deal way, but it's besides the point. Shout out Chipotle. Thanks for firing me, because now I'm never gonna work for you again. So
Your loss.
yeah,
Well,
your loss.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay, but yeah, that's what happened. That happened yesterday. I went in, they were yeah, take a seat with us real quick. And I was oh, am I in trouble? They were yeah, something like that. I was oh, what? But yeah, so I got fired. It's the first time I've ever been fired.
Oh.
At least I can say I've been fired now.
How does it feel?
I don't know. It feels I don't know. I feel like a hellraiser. I feel like a scoundrel.
You'd be a rogue if you were in
Yeah,
D&D.
indeed. I wouldn't be a highwayman. I'm not robbing people.
Yeah, you'd just be a scoundrel.
Yeah.
A rogue.
A scoundrel.
Well,
I like the whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, that
Fuck
sucks.
you, Chipotle. They don't mop their floors every day. They just splash some dirty, some soapy water on the ground, and then sweep it around with a squeegee. Why do you think there's so many E. coli outbreaks? But yeah.
Wait, you mean they don't the floor is in the restaurant
Yeah.
area or in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they do wash it for real sometimes.
Most
right?
of the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Every day. They do it every day. I know. I'm just trying to throw shade on Chipotle.
Yeah.
Some bitches over there, man.
Well, that sucks.
But yeah, I got a new phone.
Oh, nice.
What kind of phone do you think I got?
I can't remember if you're an iPhone person or not.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
feel like you are an iPhone person. No?
Am I? I don't know. You tell me.
It could go either way.
Could it? It's 50-50. You gotta shoot one way. Come on.
I'm gonna go Android.
Okay, yeah. Here's the deal. You are right. You are right. I've been an Android my entire life until now. I got an iPhone.
Wow. I was gonna say the reason I chose Android is because I've never gotten a text from you that was like, Foster reacted this to whatever.
Yeah.
And that because it always writes it out in text with Android.
Yeah.
So I was like, if you had an iPhone, I feel like you would have done that at least once.
I probably would have gotten it at least once. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I literally, so first time I've ever gotten an iPhone.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a red iPhone.
Wow, that's cool.
It's like a bright red. It's cool.
So that's not a case. That's the actual phone.
Nah, yeah, I got a case coming tomorrow. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about it yet.
Is it like a new one?
Yeah, it's like the new one.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? I'm all fancy and shit. Yeah, I feel cool. But do I? I don't know. I feel like on one hand, I'm like part of the crowd. But on the other hand, I'm part of the crowd.
You're part of the Apple crowd.
You know what I mean?
iPhone crowd.
I still have my old phone. I was able to
Yeah.
keep that. So I'm in both worlds, you know what I'm saying?
You
But
got your foot in each camp.
I had to get a new phone because my old phone was just like bugging like hardcore. I basically couldn't use like the top of the screen. Like, you know, I was tapping.
Is it cracked?
No, it was just like the screen, like the touchscreen just isn't registering.
It's
probably replaceable. Probably pretty easy to fix actually, but
yeah.
I'm not gonna go through the effort. And I had an upgrade, so
Why not? I mean,
now I just got the trap phone. You know what I'm saying?
The trap phone.
If I ever need to get it fixed, I will. Yeah, I got the double phone. Like that's like I'm keeping that, like just in case. You know what I mean?
Your burner phone.
Yeah, it's gonna be the burner. Like.
I mean, it makes sense. You can still call with it and stuff.
No, I would need to get another like plan, but
yeah, you can send emails, but I guess then that goes to your email or so.
I can still use like social media. If I'm connected to Wi-Fi, I can do like anything I have an account with.
But in order for it to be a burner phone, it has to. Like,
in order to call, I need to be connected to like the cell towers.
Right.
So I would need, but I can get that for like I can do like a prepaid month with like fucking Cricket Wireless or some bullshit. What is it? Ryan
Mint
Reynolds,
Mobile?
Mint Mobile. Yeah, I was just about to say.
Mint Mobile.
Ryan Reynolds owns that shit. You know that?
I do. I get those ads all the time.
He's like, "Hi, I'm Ryan Reynolds." You're like, "Get the fuck out of my screen right now." But yeah, I can't. Like all my hacked apps. Shout out Spotify. Shout out YouTube. I was hacking your shit for years, dog. No ads. Like I do not fuck with the ads. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. So now you have to do.
Now I have to watch the ads. Yeah.
You can't hack it on.
Until here's the deal, right? So you can do these things. You can do something called side loading. So I can side load a separate like alt app store, and then like do some fuck shit with the YouTube app and like have some proxies or whatever. You gotta like download this like shit separate, of course, but. Yeah. It's all legit for the most part if you know where you're looking, and it's not jailbreaking. It's not jailbreaking it. You sideload this application. Oh, it's like you just like change. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's like going. It's like you're editing the code somehow to where like it like voids the warranty and like it does some bullshit. But you can like do some cool shit. I don't know.
But this isn't that. This is just.
This is not that, but it's also similar. So we'll see. But I can't do that yet because since I just got it, it has like the newest software. So I gotta wait till the software gets old.
Really?
Yeah.
So the method you're using requires the software to be like outdated.
Yeah, because it's cracked at that point. You know, it's like not up to date.
Wow. So you're waiting for the people who are actively trying to hack the iPhone.
Yeah,
code.
yeah. Like that's why I'm saying like it feels like a counterintuitive move to get an iPhone because like I'm low key all about like cracking the shit open and like fucking with it.
And iPhones are like notorious for not being cracked.
Yeah, and they're like, but they have come a long way. Like when I remember
the hackers or the iPhone.
The iPhone, like you can do widgets now. So like all the shit that you could put on like Android, like the clocks and all the little things you can put on the home screen. Like you can do that. You can basically like think of like most shit on Androids that has been out for like a couple years. Like that's the cool stuff that's on an iPhone now.
Why the heck?
They have like a file. Like they have a file. You can actually go through your files now instead of.
Why the heck would you want an iPhone if you couldn't go through your files on it until now?
You couldn't go through your files for like a long time, I'm pretty sure. Like,
Right. Why would you want an iPhone?
because
Like,
it's all user end. It's all user end experience. Like that's what like the motto was. It's just like you shouldn't have to understand. It should be intuitive. It should just happen.
So that's why. Oh, that's so gross.
You should
I
just
hate that.
be able to use it.
I hate that. That's like a spaceship.
That was like
Imagine,
Steve Jobs' like whole deal. Is
I
that like a
want, like-
kid should be able to walk up to this and just start playing.
But it's like, okay, sure, but then if the phone has no capable, or if somebody wants to do something like access their files, they should be able to do that.
Yeah, and it's like,
If they know how to do it, they should be able to do it.
and it's interesting because like that was the dichotomy between like Windows, Apple for so long.
Yeah.
But now it's those walls are starting to break down a little bit.
Apple's
And-
finally like, yeah, we can't keep doing.
Yeah,
this.
it's more now, and now it's more like just like luxury versus like
Yeah.
consumer or whatever, I guess you could say. Another step onto the classist civil war that we are drawing ever closer.
The brows versus the browless.
Is that what that one was about?
Yeah.
Browless Tempe. Yeah, okay, I remember. I sort of. I remember the moniker. I don't remember what it was about. But yeah.
Yeah, it was about the caste war.
The class war? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, caste class war.
Yeah, fucking. I like some. I met a family member the other day, and we were kind of talking about it, and he was talking to me about how like, because I mentioned about how like capitalism is gonna like eventually fall, like it's not sustainable at this point, like late stage, we're kind of just all getting fucked, like everybody, and he was just riding so hard for the billionaires, and he was like, no, like the money trickles down, like you don't get it. And I was
Oh gosh.
I was like, bro, what did these billionaires ever do for you? Like,
where is the trickling down occurring?
that's what I was saying too. I was like, it doesn't really make sense. Like, I don't know, but it was just like, it was the first time. The point of this story is that it was the first time I'd really encountered someone that was like, I was talking to them, and it was like, wow, like I really can't, like you're just not understanding like what's actually happening, and like. I'm trying, yeah.
One of those impossible people.
Yeah, like you're unironically being extremely unaware right now, and I'm trying to help you, and you're just not listening. Like, and I was just like, whoa, like that's crazy. I just stopped talking. I was just like, yeah, okay, like we're gonna stop talking. I was like, I need to stop talking.
I haven't encountered people like that. I haven't. If I ever do, I'm just not gonna have a conversation with them.
No, because that's what you think, right? But then you're having a conversation with them, and you're like, and it happens like gradually. You're like, wait a second, wait, no, you don't actually like think that, and they're like, no, yeah, and you're like, but like not really, and then you're like, yeah, and you're like, well, like, really, and they're like, yeah, and you're like, but what about the thing? And they're like, yeah, and you're like, well, and then before that's a conversation. You're already having a conversation with them.
So you're having, by the time you figure out that you shouldn't have had this conversation, you've had.
You're already there, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, at that point, maybe you can just walk away. Like you said, you just stopped, right?
Yeah, I was just like, okay, we're done.
Defuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Wait, what was I gonna say about what were we talking about right before that? About you said the class war. Oh, the Apple versus Android. I was just gonna say, like, if I had a spaceship, I would want the cockpit to have all of the bells and whistles in front of me and accessible, so that I could control everything if I needed to.
Yeah, but what if your mom was your co-pilot?
Like, assuming my mom doesn't know how to fly a spaceship?
Okay, yeah. What if your grandma was your co-pilot?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sure, but then I would be the ship would have easy function. It would have like a main control panel to be like fly the ship, right?
Yeah.
But then around it, it would have like, okay, so you want to do this specific thing with the fuel consumption, or you want to dump the payload, whatever, and you could do that so Apple's spaceship would be like a single button in the center of the thing that'd be like go.
Yeah.
You press that and it'd be like.
It would go.
Yeah, it would just fly, and that's awesome until you need to do something like, oh my god, my wing's coming off.
Yeah.
Go. Like you can't do anything. That's how I feel about Apple and Android.
Yeah. But the other thing is too is that they're releasing things like they just released this new Apple Watch, right? That it's literally a fully functioning like dive computer. It's called the Apple Watch Ultra, and it's supposed to be
Wow.
like it's got like this insane like 36-hour battery life. Like it's meant for like people who do like triathlons or like
Yeah.
diving. Like I said, like it's like literally like a fully functioning dive computer, like all that shit. So like in really like weird areas, they're just like hyper like like hyper. I'm looking for the word, but like innovative. Like I
Yeah.
guess
Like detail oriented in very specific areas.
yeah. Like I'm not
Like
sure how big a dive computer is, but I imagine this like tablet looking thing at the very least that they're like carrying around.
I think they're
Now
normally
it's like
wrist
on
mounted.
their wrist.
I think most dive computers are on the wrist. Like Colin was telling me, I was like talking to him about like a dive. There's a thing called a dive watch, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
like an old-fashioned thing that just did one function for divers. But then he was like, "Well, that's not a thing. There's these things called dive computers now." And I think they also wear them on your wrists. I don't know how bulky they are. What if I look that up?
Yeah.
Dive dive
But
computer.
yeah, and like, so yeah, Apple's just like it's like weird because like some areas they're like, oh yeah, 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 and then other areas are like, like,
Yeah.
and it seems like the areas that are like ultra consumer, they're like not going into, but also kind of going into at the same time. I don't know.
It's
Apple
weird.
VR goggles, that might be a thing coming up
Oh,
soon.
really?
Yeah, they've been working on that for a little bit.
I, like what? Apple's weird. That's why I don't like it. They're just
Yeah,
weird and
it's
they
like
don't.
yeah, they're such an enigma of a company. Like
They
ever
are.
since like as a child, like you know,
Yeah.
there was always something like a little different about Apple.
Yeah. And I guess it's part of the like I mean like you said
Like
it's now it's like
that's what it
luxury
is, right? Like that's their
versus yeah, it's
branding.
like you're part of a club now. You have an Apple
But
device
when everyone's super,
or
no one will
something. It's so true.
be.
So why not
Exactly.
just not be super? Just be happy with your
And that's
non
what, yeah, and that's what the vibe was on the Android vibe for so long. It
Yeah.
was like by
Why do I
virtue,
need thing?
but now I'm like, I don't know. It was getting too much for a little bit.
I mean
'Cause
I think it's fun. I think
it's
it's
just like
I
green
just
text, green text, green text. Also, like Apple phone camera is low key really good. Like, and I do think it is better than Android. I've had Android my
but it
whole life.
depends
Like,
on the Android. There's so many Android cameras. Like the Google Pixels, those have really good cameras.
okay, I haven't ever had a Google Pixel, but I did
I
have
have a Google
I
Pixel.
had like the flagship one, like the Samsung Galaxy every year. Like I was
Yeah,
like
right.
I would get like yeah, I had like the S7, I had like the
Right.
S8, and I think I just had the S20. I had the S20 in there. So it's like the
Wow.
new one.
Yeah, yeah.
Um and yeah, like what was I going to say?
The camera.
Yeah, the camera just like isn't it. And it wasn't it from day one, and I knew it wasn't. And every day I look at something, I'm like, I just take a picture of that. I'm just like I'm not going to because
So
I
I
know
think
my camera sucks. And now like I have this, I'm like I'm excited because like
yeah.
I'll actually take
I mean,
pictures now.
and that's great. Yeah, it's probably very good. You know, I believe it. But I think the Google Pixel was like that was the whole thing when it first came out. The whole thing was like it has an awesome camera, and then every subsequent version they keep making it better and better. Like my camera, I love the camera on mine. You know, it does so much processing and like smart stuff to make your pictures look really good, and it's I like it a lot. But mine's still in older versions, like the 5 or something. So I don't know what they're on now, but
Yeah.
you know, I think Android. It depends on the Android. Like Samsung Galaxies, yeah. I mean, like they're good cameras, but I can see what you mean. It's like just not it. You know.
Yeah, like
So
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, but now I feel like I will take more pictures, and I'm excited to take more pictures
yeah,
because I feel like
maybe that's maybe that's Apple right there. It just
yeah,
makes you excited. It makes you're luxurious.
luxurious. But yeah, I got the iPad and the iPhone now. You know what I mean?
Oh, nice. Do you take notes on your iPad?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
More. I've been using it more than I thought I would this year so far.
What do you do if you don't take notes on it?
Regular
Like,
notes, like
okay.
handwritten.
So you just have like a mix.
Yeah.
Wow.
because like, well, ever since like COVID, you never get any handouts anymore. So you
No.
need
Yeah.
you need a computer if you're gonna be going to school, right?
Yeah.
Because you need PDFs for quizzes, you need PDFs for tests, you need PDFs for handouts. And if you're using a computer for PDF markup,
Yeah.
that's kind of rough. You know what I mean? Like, even with
I
a
mean,
mouse, like, even if you
well,
have a mouse, like,
I
yeah,
cannot write with a mouse.
you're
It's
not
terrible.
using the touchpad. Like, so you kind of need like a tablet or something
Yeah.
for school
Or
these
I mean,
days.
I have never, even now that I have a tablet, I do sometimes import PDFs when it's absolutely necessary. Usually for homeworks and stuff, I just look at the PDF on my computer and then write, like if it's a homework that's like problem number 1, here's the prompt. I go problem 1, and then I start just doing my work.
Yeah.
And that's
So
never
you
been
like you kind of transcribe it a little bit.
yeah, but I don't write the problem out. I just start
Yeah,
my,
yeah, yeah.
like I'll attach if they
But
really want.
imagine like being in like elementary school or something where they're like, you need to write out the question.
Yeah, that first of all, elementary school teachers just stop. No one
Yeah, no one
needs to
cares.
write out the question.
You
No one
have
needs
the
to write
answer
out the
key. You have the teacher copy of the book. We know you can see it. Like, these kids don't care about their handwriting, and if they don't want it to get better, it's not going to get better if you just make them write more. Okay?
Yeah,
That kid's not going to be in an AP class. I'm sorry. Like, you can tell. You can tell
I feel
these
like
things.
That's not the way. I don't think that's the rationale.
Your child is stupid.
Just accept it at this point. No, I think like when they make you write the prompt, I mean, sure, maybe they're trying to get you to develop your handwriting, but just give them handwriting assignments if you want them.
That
to,
too,
just,
yeah.
like if you want them to write out the prompt,
There's no way kids are still learning cursive in this bitch, right?
Do you think they are?
No way. No way
bet
third
they are.
graders are learning cursive.
I bet they're learning cursive. I'm gonna look this up. I'm sorry. I have
Are
to. I have
kids
to know
still
now.
learning cursive?
Are kids still learning cursive?
I would be very surprised to know to find
kids
out
required?
if kids are still learning cursive.
I'm going to
because-
moms.com.
Yeah, like when I learned cursive, I remember like it was on the way out. I still only ever really
Wait.
I only ever write my name in cursive now if I'm signing something.
Wow, cursive is not required anymore.
Wow.
In a lot of in a lot of places it depends. But
Not
a lot of
everywhere, but
places-
like it's not required everywhere.
it says that a lot of places introduce cursive since it's not mandatory, and then like they're just like, this is cursive, and like here's kind of how to do it, and then they're just
Wow.
done.
Interesting.
Thank God, cursive is like okay.
I
I'm
don't
sure
like
it's-
the older I get, the more I appreciate cursive.
But like why?
Like if I feel like if they really drilled cursive, or I don't know. Let me put it this way: if we lived in like a non like type age, if we still handwrite
Yeah.
everything, I feel like I would really fuck with cursive.
Well, yeah, obviously, I agree with that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess then.
Yeah. I appreciate it as a very useful thing when it was needed. Like it's a great innovation for when you had to write all the time, but people barely use handwriting anymore. So, like the only thing I handwrite is like math work.
Yeah.
That's it. Like solving problems and drawing pictures and stuff, and it's like people can do that on the computer too. It's just people use handwriting for scratch work.
Yeah.
As chicken scratch.
Do you
and
think
it's
there
like,
will ever be a point where, like, handwriting is like kind of like a skill that isn't necessarily known
Like-
by everyone anymore? Like you
it's
know
like-
how to you know the language, you know how to speak, you know how to read, but you don't know how to write because
So it's like
you don't
like literacy.
necessarily need to write.
So it's like everyone just types. You mean?
Yeah.
Or like thinks the.
But
words,
would it work like that? Like, would you be able to read without being able to write?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Right?
I think so. Being able to read without being able to write. Yeah.
So yeah. Do you think that could ever? Do you think
about
that?
it, we read the fonts that we read are often very different from what we're taught.
Yeah,
like how
I
we're
guess
taught to
so.
write,
Like,
like
you couldn't-
Russian.
Yeah.
Russian handwriting, Russians only write in their version of cursive, and they read their version of print. So like the only time you'd write printed Russian is when you're writing, like when you want to write printed Russian, and it's like for a poster or something where you like have a big fancy, like a big block letter title or something. But like
Interesting.
all of their writing is
Cursive.
there's a specific way you write because all their letters are very blocky. So it's fast. It's a good thing to type with the blocks, but then for writing they just do very, very fine cursive. And I like that because if cursive was the only way to write, and it was like the best way to write, then I would do it. But I don't think it's the best in English at least because we can write in print and it's not hard. In Russian, it's a little bit tedious to write in print.
I imagine.
So, wait, what were we saying?
Like being able to read but not write.
Oh yeah. So you think it's gonna be like literacy over time will be like
Yeah.
really low, and then it'll spike up as people get more educated, and then it'll go
Yeah, it'll go back down.
It'll go back
and it'll
down,
be like
but everyone is still really literate in like reading and speaking and stuff, but then just writing literacy just goes way down.
yeah, like maybe not even speaking and like and understanding. Maybe like overpopulation, like the we won't have enough educators, and like education truly will be a privilege. And there's literally like the uneducated like masses, like so many people who just like they simply can't get education. They don't know how to read. They don't know how to write. They're just like these like sub people because
Jeez.
because overpopulation is so fucked and the school systems fucking blow.
Well, yeah, I don't think
I'm thinking like 2090.
2090.
Maybe, I don't know.
2090, we're all idiots.
Because we're gonna like we will live to see 2090.
You think?
Well, how old are you? I'm 20. I'm almost 21. I'm like
20.
21 in a month.
I'm 21 over the summer, so we're about the same age. So
2090 is in what?
67 years. Right? Yeah.
67 plus 20, 87. You think you're making it to 87?
Well,
Probably.
I would like to make it to 87.
Like with medical advancements.
Yes.
Like they're only gonna keep getting better. Cybernetics, prosthetics.
I would, but you know, there's always the stuff that just
Brain downloading.
Yeah, all right. If I could live in a computer, then sure, I believe.
Would you live in a computer forever?
It depends on how good it was. Like if it's just like I sit there and observe everything.
Yeah.
And just do nothing, and I can't like live. That's not worth it. But
What if like it's kind of like your consciousness melds into the internet?
Oh god, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, it sounds like.
It sounds like hell.
Yeah, like horrifying in a like cosmic sense.
I feel like it should be more like at the point where you meld your consciousness with a computer, you're probably like dying, right? Or you do it because you're gonna die, or you're.
There's gotta be a reason. You're not just like.
You're not just gonna be like.
I might upload my consciousness today.
Right. So I feel like it should be looked at. It should be made into like kind of a heaven sort of situation. You know, an artificial, just like something that just artificially simulates real life, but more good things or something. I don't know.
I watched this one show. I forget what it was called, but I think it's on like Amazon Prime. It's based off like a series or something. But it's like it's about like UIs, like uploaded intelligence. Basically, people just get their brains like deleted with a laser, and like they're like a layer by layer scan of their brain gets like uploaded into a computer and like simulated. But then there's like some like fucky stuff with the code, and they get like corrupted, and like they're trying to like take over the world. It was wild. I was like, I think it was called like Dominion or something. I don't know. Okay.
Well, but so I wonder what would happen, because there's the whole thing about consciousness. Like when you, like in Star Trek, you know how they beam each other up and down.
Yeah.
And the way that those work in canon
it's like
is
completely destructs you and then like reconstructs you.
Destroys you and rebuilds you at the new spot. So
and it's like yeah.
The same person.
That's the what's the that's this
ship.
is a
ship, right?
the ship. Is it Archimedes? Some but we're talking about the same thing,
Yeah.
Odysseus. It's Odysseus' ship, right?
Probably.
I think
Theseus.
it is.
Ship of Theseus.
Theseus' shipment.
Yeah.
When is it? When is it the old one? When is it the new one?
So it's like that's an interesting question because if you get destroyed and then you're reassembled from different atoms, you know, like the atoms that got
They're
destroyed,
not the same, but they're in
not
the same orientation.
yeah, like the atoms, like this atom that blew off of you when you got disintegrated, will stay on the planet, but a new one will be brought in on the ship and make you, right? So they're the same elements, but they're literally different particles.
Form dictates function, but like to what extent?
Right. So it's like, are you? Because I mean, you'll get remade, and you have the exact all your memories perfectly. You're the same person.
How does the memories work? How do they do the memories?
Well, if you build a brain with the same physical structure as the one that you
destroyed, that's
it's
crazy.
the same memory, right? So, like,
so then that requires like a initial destruction of like a control in order to make like a replication over and over again.
Well, did you see? Oh, I'm gonna sneeze.
So maybe like the recruiting process for like the Star Trek like universe or whatever is like you just die.
Kill you.
Yeah, like we're gonna kill you, download your entire person, and now we can just respawn you wherever.
That would be even more. That would be even better than beaming. That would be like you're immortal, basically.
Yeah, why don't they just get one dude and like you make him over and over again?
Yeah, just duplicate this guy. But
so,
see, that would cause so many. That's like, I was gonna say, did you see the Netflix show with Paul Rudd? It was called.
Probably not.
Living with Yourself. Okay,
no, I've heard of it though. I know what you're talking about.
He goes to a spa and it's like supposed to rejuvenate your life, and because he's like super depressed and nothing's going well. So he goes to the spa and then he wakes up and he like feels great, and then it turns out another version of himself wakes up in a grave like wrapped in plastic in the forest, and he like breaks out, and then he's supposed to be dead, and what happened was they killed that one and then cloned his body and made him better. And so his original self was supposed to die, and now, obviously now there's two of them and they have the same memories, then they're the same person, but it's like, and one of them's a little bit better at everything, but the question is like, are you the same?
Slightly improved.
Just a little bit. He's like happier and like better.
He's not even like really like still like that good. Like he's just like,
yeah, he's just like better. He like does his job better and stuff. He just has more. He's happier, and so it's a funny show, but it's also like pretty serious because, like, if he had like you have to wonder.
It's like in reality, like that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, like would it have been better if he had just died like he was supposed to? Like,
yeah.
Then he wouldn't care, and the new version of him wouldn't know, and that new version thinks he's the old version. So
yeah, like I feel like this concept has like been done before a lot, and like lots of different forms of sci-fi, but I feel like they always just relegate it to like the clone is now his own like unique character.
Yeah,
and he's like a space rogue.
Yeah,
trader
exactly.
guy.
They always make it like they're like, okay, it's like they're afraid the audience can't handle it, and they take the easy route, but the hard route is like,
like
you're looking at the exact like functionally, like physically, it's identical. It's not like a twin. You are literally the same person, but if one of you dies, does the other one? If one of you dies and the other one doesn't, no, I mean, if at the same time one of you dies and the other one is created, is that still the one who died? I mean, it can't be. So then it raises the question of when you're sleeping, when you go to sleep and then you wake up, are you the same person? Because there's like the question is, where does like the line of consciousness get drawn? Like, if you lose,
it's like the clap, right? It's like once you start clapping, you never really stop.
What? What?
I'm just clapping very slowly.
Okay. Oh. Interesting. But you will stop when you die.
So does that when consciousness stops?
Consciousness ends when you stop clapping.
They're exactly correlated.
Like,
there's got to be a formula we can.
like
yeah.
claps and then level of consciousness, and it's like just a
E
flat
equals
line.
MC clap.
That's interesting though, because I mean, yeah, like when you go to sleep, you're not conscious in the same way that you're conscious right now. So did you slip past a boundary that means you're
Yeah,
now
like
basically,
who's that guy?
yeah, who is this and who is this? And when this guy comes back to this guy, is it the same as the one who went to sleep?
Yeah.
And people are like, it's like we don't know.
Is
And
there
so
nothing even there at all, and it just is the same person?
yeah,
There's so
because I
many
mean,
things that we actually like don't know about.
because when you're asleep, you're like you're closer to like a vegetable and like other like like lower level like
Yeah.
organisms, like lower brain processing. You know, you're just using your basic functions. So, but you're not aware of yourself unless you're like dreaming or something. So you're still alive and you still have consciousness, but it's greatly reduced. And then compared to when you're awake, are those two people the same? And if they aren't the same, then aren't the two people who, like the person who went to sleep and the person who woke up, are two different people too? So basically, you're killing yourself every time you go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's the big question.
I have a theory. Well, this is actually just a theory. But like it's like that like every time you die, like your consciousness in that universe, like it technically ends and therefore like ceases to exist. So your consciousness jumps to the next like available universe. So like
Okay.
think of all the times in your life where like you've gotten injured pretty badly, or like
Right.
maybe there was a close call and like or was something like kind of crazy. Like I can remember a couple times in my life, like one time when I was a kid, like I was riding my bike, I almost fell face first into a cactus or something like that, for example. Or
Yeah.
like when like one time when I was like drunk, I like fell off a bed, hit my head on like a table, and like I have like a big scar there now, and I was passed out for like 16 hours. That's a story.
Jeez.
Yeah, like I thought like what if I like in my thinking it's like what if I died that night and
And you
like
found a new universe where you didn't die.
and the only reason I woke up is just because I wasn't dead in that universe.
But that means that everyone in some universe
Mm-hmm.
is still alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, hold on. I'm growing older, right? So let's say I live to be pretty old, and then I get some disease and I'm dying.
Yeah.
I know I'm dying.
That's just like the end though, because it's like there has to be a stopping point for like your matter. You know what I mean?
If we can just jump between, if the what is the consciousness isn't matter, right?
Yeah. But like
So if consciousness is just, well, hold on, is the consciousness creating universes, or is it jumping into universes where you already exist?
I think
Because this is
the
like
universe holds the consciousness. They all exist simultaneously.
Okay, so then what happens to the consciousness? Do you kick out a consciousness when you like if I
No,
like,
it's just
get
like
my
infinity minus one.
Oh, okay. So that's like the thought experiment of like, what if you have a hotel with infinite rooms, but a busload of infinite um, guests comes to stay,
Yeah.
and you have the capacity to hold them? And then it's like, what
Yeah.
if two busloads of infinite?
Whoa.
There's like you can only do so much to make sure that you have enough room, and it's like really weird math, and it doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah, it's like I don't know, but yeah, my thinking it's like we all have like our time period where like our matter is like indiscernible from our consciousness. And that's when like our true death happens, but like any other kind of like or at least the thinking in line with this theory is like any other unnatural death is like that.
So what's a natural death?
Like the end of your life, like you just like
Right, but for the end of your life, I mean, but what
like
caused
car crash, not natural. Like natural causes, you know what I mean?
But natural causes that's a blanket term for you could have a disease. Is what kind of diseases are natural?
That's
If
a
you
natural
get-
cause. Yeah, disease like
okay,
natural
so
cause.
if you get bit by if you get bit by a mosquito and get terminal malaria and
No,
you like
not
die.
natural cause.
Not natural. What? How is that not natural? That's a natural thing coming and biting you, and then you die from that's natural cause. I mean, I guess maybe that wouldn't be natural causes, but like that's by the legal definition. Of
So
natural cause.
maybe that would be natural cause. Yeah. Okay. Fair.
So if that happens and you're like really young, do you go find another universe where you recovered, or do you just die?
Yes.
It seems like you're making
No,
up
yeah,
your
no, yeah. Like, say I'm a child, I get malaria and die. There's another universe that my consciousness jumps to where I am a child, I got malaria, but I get better.
Right, okay. So now if you're 112 years old and you get bit by mosquito, get malaria and die, do you still jump?
Yes, yes,
Hey, how are you
yes,
going to say
and
yes
no.
or no?
Yes and no. Because that old guy dies, right? But then consciousness jumps again to the other one that gets better.
So that's a yes. That's not a yes and no. It's the same thing as the kid example.
Yeah, yeah.
Still alive. So that means that in somewhere, every single person who's ever lived
Is
is still
surrounded by
alive.
their families on a bed, and they're
What?
like, I love
No.
you so much.
No, that's not. That's counter to what we just agreed on. You just said that if they're really okay. All right, let's go to a different. Instead of malaria, which is it's whatever. Let's say you get like just a cold, right? You get a cold and you're really old and it kills you. Okay, you're on your bed with all your loved ones. You're like, I love you all.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great life. Blah 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 blah. You make all your peace, and then you die. Does your consciousness jump?
No.
Why? It doesn't make any sense. That's not consistent.
Yeah, so maybe it has to do with more with like the nature of the event. I don't know. I gotta think about it more.
Okay, so then that there is
Maybe the
right,
concept could
a
go like
universal
this.
judge who's looking at it like, yeah, that was a worthy death. I think now's the time to.
Yeah, like maybe something like that. Maybe it's like we all have our own specific death, and until that specific death, any other death, a jump happens.
Sure. Okay, so that.
So
then
if
that
I'm supposed to die by malaria at age 32, and I get in a car crash at age 16, that guy's dead in that universe, but I'm alive in the next one.
But now that seems needlessly complicated because if that's the way it works, that's just fate, right? That means all of us are. That's predestination, right?
Like,
I am going to
but
die.
both yes and no.
Why? No, 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 no. Hold on. If I'm going to die when I'm 38 in a car crash, right? That means that if I get in a car crash when I'm 12, then and I have to survive, right? But why do I have to survive by jumping my consciousness to another universe while the one behind dies? Well, that's too complicated. Why not just have me survive, right? Like if I'm destined to do something, I should just survive everything until I die there.
You're thinking of it too black and white. Like
I don't see
you
this-
both
this is an arbitrary
you are and you aren't, like all versions of you exist simultaneously as you. So there is no I'm surviving or dying. It's like it's more like surreal than that.
But that seems, if predestination is real, then that seems too complicated. If predestination is so simple, right? It's you're going to do these things in your life, and you have a single.
But no, because that's the thing. That guy, that version of you is gonna do that. But there's also like 8 million other infinite versions that are doing other shit.
So they all have their own destinies.
Yeah.
But why am I living in the? So hold on. No, I'm sorry. This is getting too convoluted. If I have a destiny, and if I have a destiny to die when I'm, 60 from some disease, and I get hit by a car, like when I'm 8.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there was a version of me who was supposed to die by getting hit with a car when they were 8. He jumps into my head, and I jump out into another head. Maybe not the one I'm supposed to be in, but
no, you like, yeah, okay, so you're 8 years old, you get hit by a car, and you both like you die and live at the same time. Like you died, but you also lived. Like you got better, and then you like continue to live on your life.
Right.
And it's like that universe. It's like it's more of it's like it's like a situation in which you can't really like definitively observe it, kind of, because it's like I don't know. It's all just a theory that I have in my head, like that came up in my head
Well, okay.
a little bit. I think it's
I-
I'm pretty sure it's called like quantum suicide or something like that.
Oh yeah.
If
Okay.
you want to look it up, but
Well, it's interesting. I just don't think that like the idea of you being fated to die, like, cause if you, all right, like we're all gonna die because like if we don't get any other kind of sickness, right? Humans will die because our telomeres will get too short, right? And then our DNA will start to get damaged, and we will literally die from like bad DNA. Our DNA just starts to kill itself. That's what
yeah.
would happen if everything else is perfect. So maybe you could consider that the absolute final natural death, and everyone lives until that point by jumping between universes.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Why
at
is
the
why
end
is that?
product, the end product of this theory is like everyone has their own like ideal life somewhere.
But how does the universe know what someone's ideal life is?
It doesn't
Oh,
know.
oh,
It doesn't
I see.
know. It just is.
I see. So you're
There's
saying
so many. Like, there's so many out there that it just like, yeah,
so
it's
maybe you're saying that everyone lives until or until they're ready to die.
yeah, kind of.
Wow, I like that. That's better. I like that. So it's like, and that's probably maybe that's like when you're like 100-ish years old or
Yeah,
something.
it's like it. Yeah, it's like, ah, fuck, I'm gonna die. And then you're
That's
dead.
a happy
But
ending.
it's not like, yeah, it's like you're looking at yourself like, oh, I just got hit in the head, I just got shot in the chest, like I'm gonna die, and then you die. But it's like, like when I fell off the bed, it's like I'm not gonna die, so I woke up.
That doesn't make sense to me. Why?
Yeah,
If you get hit in the,
it
if you get
really
hit in
doesn't
the
make sense. No, you're right. It really doesn't make sense. But
head.
I have to go. I have chapter in like
Okay,
10
have
minutes.
fun. I've got a spike ball game later tonight.
Word.
Yeah.
Show
I'm
them,
familiar.
show off.
I will.
Kick their ass.
I will.
Show
gonna
them the might of the Saguaro Spikeball Club.
Saguaro's. That thing died as soon as
It
we
was like
left.
only us. Like,
Yeah, it was only us.
I don't know. We had a couple guys show out like for a
We
couple
did. I mean, we
days.
had for like a year. We had
We had like at least 4 people for like a year.
because like Davis and Alex, like a bunch of the seniors went. When
Yeah,
we were
yeah,
training.
yeah.
When they left, then our numbers kind of dwindled.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, it's been fun. What are we calling this episode?
Yeah, I don't know. Foster got an iPhone. Quantum suicide. Jumping.
Like something with the ship of Theseus and maybe quantum suicide too. Like
Where? Out with the old, in with the new.
what about Theseus
Greek ship.
quantum ship?
Quantum ship. All right. Yeah, I like it.
Like what about Theseus apostrophe like possessive? Theseus quantum ship.
I feel like we've been using quantum as an adjective a little bit.
But why is that a bad thing?
What
Like, I feel
about?
like
Yeah, we're smart. I took quantum mechanics. I'm allowed to say it.
you're allowed. You're part of the culture now.
Yeah. What about like interdimensional ship?
We definitely used the word interdimensional though.
Yeah.
It was like interdimensional something.
Quantum Greeks. Quantum ship Greeks. Roman
Quantum Greek.
soldier
Let's just do-
Percy Jackson.
How about I like quantum Greeks because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't really make any sense. But
What else did we talk about?
we talked about. We started with like the class war between Apple and Android.
Yeah.
And stuff, and
A ship
Then it
full
was-
of apples goes to Greece.
apples and androids.
Apples in Greece.
Greece. Wait, no. Nobody in Greece was like famous for doing something with apples, right?
Probably not. Yeah.
He was not Greek.
Greek apples on a ship.
Let's just do that. That sounds funny.
Greek apples
Greek
on a
apples
ship.
on a sh-
There we go. All right. Goodbye.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.